So, hello, you guys. I'm doing one of my late nights. I woke up and I did a meditation, and I ended up cutting it short because I wanted to do this video. So, basically, what's going on is, well, how do I word this exactly? Because I had like expressed in previous videos, I think sometimes it's like when people start watching my newer videos, like you miss a lot. Not that I mean, I wouldn't recommend necessarily going on a marathon because it could take a while to watch all of my videos. So I wouldn't recommend that. But so I'll just give you a recap. In previous videos, I had talked about this idea of no I-ness, like this sense of I-ness, sort of like this knowingness that there wasn't necessarily this I-ness, as in like me. I At one point I just had come to the realization that I was an aspect an aspect of God. I call it God. Some people call it source. Some people call it the universe. You know, everybody's got their own name for it. Mine is God. That's my understanding for me. So we, all of us are an aspect. Like there's no separation. There's no separation in anything, especially in the fact that we are all made up of these atoms. I was watching this amazing documentary on Netflix. I think it had something, the universe secret, something of the universe, or how the universe was made, something of this nature. And it had this, it was about the stars. I think it was the first one they had ever made. It was about the stars and how the stars are formed, and also how they how they die, how the stars are formed and how they die. And they talked about the sun, and and that we're made, everything is made of stardust, like literally the atoms from a dying star creates planets and people, us. So we're actually made of stardust, like I guess quite literally, which I would say would be the building blocks, and I believe God to be the building blocks, the creator and the clay, the actual thing in which created us, but is also the essence of us. That is what I assert. But I have to start with that because I say this, and it sounds really really kind of odd, but what is happening right now is I'm starting to believe in myself. But here's the thing, there really isn't this, like, necessarily this self. So I would say that I'm starting to believe in the God, the aspect of me which encapsulates me, that is the divine. I am believing, I'm starting to believe in that. And so what is happening is I've been having like quite a few opportunities coming to me over the last few days that have been really exciting. Um, Things are sort of moving, and I'm feeling better. I'm feeling a lot better because I had, on a few previous videos, I had been expressing that I have been feeling really discouraged, and in all actuality a bit fearful, like, because I've never done things this way before. In all actuality, I really haven't. Like, there was always this element in me of belief since I can remember, like a really really young age. I remember telling people in my high school, I told them this story about how somebody needed some money. They needed some money for something, and I reached into my wallet and I had exactly the amount of money they needed. I remember seeing that as a miracle, and when I actually shared it, people kind of laughed at me. They laughed at me. So I guess I've been laughed at my whole life. I've always been sort of laughed at. And I've been at this for a long time, but not as I am now. This is a marked difference. This is really, really different, the way that I am right now. In believing in things that are not yet manifest. Like, I was listening to Abraham Hicks, as I do pretty habitually, and she was talking about how whatever is even in the moment is so like yesterday. It's so yesterday. It's so like over. What is happening right now is like seemingly like past, even though I've also talked about the fact that there is only consecutive nows. It's just a series of consecutive nows. So you don't really have like the past and the future as we're thinking that it exists. But even now, it just kind of cracks me up. Like, the newspaper is just hilarious because what is in the newspaper that day is like, it's actually past, quote unquote, past, because it's what happened, and then you're on to the next thing the next day. I mean, it's just, it's kind of the same story over and over and over. Anyway, I had written down, you can't get to where you want to be by believing what is. You can't get to where you want to be by believing what is. And oftentimes, like, what people try to do is like, is they try to like remind you of what is. And so I have a lot of selective hearing. I have a lot of selective hearing. And sadly to say, there is a bit of ignoring and of like people in my life who want to have me recall what seemingly is, because that's not my goal. My goal is the creation of my life and what I would like to do. If this life is an adventure, which I believe wholeheartedly that it is, what adventure do I want to go on? Like, where do I want to go? Where do I want to live? What do I want to do? Like, it's so exciting when you think about it. Like, this planet is such an amazing place to be. And, like, the possibilities are just, like, abound. They're just everywhere. Anyway, so I've been really at it. I've been mostly just in the art and practice of just learning to be in a joyful place. Just knowing that everything, absolutely everything, is just gonna not just be okay. It's gonna be great. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll be back.